This insightful lecture, fusion of historical responsibilities with present capabilities, with integrity for our blue planet's future, inspired from unbounded contributions of Mother Nature, aims to inculcate ecological intelligence for our planet's future. In background of the different contributions to global environmental degradation, states have common but differentiated responsibilities to address human induced activities or anthropogenic induced global warming led climate change and its existential threat to even our blue living planet Earth. Foundational principle, common but differentiated responsibilities based on historical emissions of rich and industrialized countries and developing economies capability to respond climate change impacts such as extreme weather conditions, flood or famine. Context of this insightful lecture, Bonn Climate Change Conference, June 5 to 15, 2023, where Annex 1 countries, a group of rich and industrialized or advanced economies or countries, usually referred as Annex 1 countries, because they mentioned in Annex 1 of the 1992 United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. These rich and advanced economies argued that there is no foundational basis or sound reason for their historical contribution and put forth a reason to substantiate their claim. The first historic emissions happened at a time when there was no alternative to fossil fuel based energy sources. In depth and comprehensive analysis, free from prejudices, exposed this claim factually incorrect, analytically flawed, and conclusively baseless and biased. Why? Comparative analysis brings visualized or crystallized understanding. Why? As we cannot justify colonial economic exploitation, political polarization on communal lines, socio-cultural disintegration, ecological degradation, decline in ethical values, and balkanization of nations in colonies that happened at a time when there was no global interdependent economic order like today. So it was inevitable to finance industrial revolution or acceleration of industrial revolution of colonial regimes with colonies exploitation, deindustrialization and depredation. Second, little understanding or concerns on the harm caused by greenhouse gases. It is to be noted that the real issue was intention, not understanding or concerns about nature, as greed for wealth accumulation blinded and dulled their understanding and provoked for colonies, plundering, and ecological destruction. Otherwise, when colonizers were constructing concepts like white man's burden theory, they could conceptualize something that was propionate. Even in 1960s, Silent Spring, a book on environmental science, in other words, that inspired ecological intelligence, couldn't nudge their efforts, rich and industrialized countries' efforts, in direction to protect nature. Third, since 1992, about 57% of carbon dioxide emissions has come from non-annexed countries. Fourth, 70% of the incremental warming since 1992 due to emissions from carbon dioxide, methane, and sulfur dioxide had come from non-annexed countries. In this background of ecological collapse, habitat loss led by diversity crisis, or sixth, mass extinction. In, we cannot ignore the per capita emission of annexed one countries. For an example, global per capita emission is 6.3 ton carbon dioxide equivalent. United States of America's per capita emission is 13.68 or about 14 ton CO2 equivalent, whereas India's per capita greenhouse emission far below world average, 2.4 ton CO2 equivalent. These figures substantiated from United Nations Ecological Program Emission Gap Report 2022. It is to be noted that the world's most populous civilization, home to one-sixth of humanity, India, notwithstanding these facts and figures, India's propellant initiatives from Panchamrit at COP26 Glasgow, London to Mission Life, India led global mass movement to mobilize individuals to become pro-planet people. The essence of Mission Life is mindful and deliberate utilization or harnessing of nature's blessings instead of mindless and destructive consumption or predation of nature's resources. The Interplanetary Panel on Climate Change IPCC says global emissions must come down by 43% from 2019's levels by 2030 to keep alive hopes of meeting the 1.5 degree target. Transforming Our World Global Agenda 2030 Sustainable Development Goals are integral, indivisible, inseparable. Means vulnerability of one will destroy entire vision of sustainable development that is essential even to survive. Sustainable Development Goals, Goal 17, Partnership for the Goal, is cornerstone to realize these goals based on foundational principle of global collaboration for Blue Planet's future. To take responsibility is the foundational for reconciliation and collective response based on capabilities with integrity, need of R. As nature protects, if she is protected, Now, climate change. Climate change, long term change in global temperature and weather pattern culminated or resulted into disruption in nature's natural balance.